Merry Christmas, everybody. This is being recorded for Seeds of Wisdom, and what we're going to do is send it off to Oki. So please give your merry wishes to everybody and say hi to Oki and welcome to the little party. So I'm setting up a little shop over on the website. If you want to buy a little Christmas ornament or something like that, that's what I've been working on, and I hope that you'll enjoy that. I see Kate in here, and Bob Locke has been here. So Merry Christmas, Country Girl 47. We have some new people, so everybody just say Merry Christmas. Just unmute and jump in. Or not. Maybe pretty quiet. It was Turd Ferguson's idea to do a little Christmas cheer for Oki, and then we could send it off to him. But then I thought, well, we'll just include everybody to say happy Merry Christmas and happy holidays and all that good stuff. So I hope everybody's enjoying the cooler weather. It definitely is cooler here in Texas.
Happy holidays.
Hey, Batman Q, how are you today?
Oh, very good. I'm taking care of dogs.
How fun. What kind of dogs
so
do you
you're in
have?
Texas? Well, my brother does dog rescue, and we have two mutts, if you will, one boxer, one pit bull, and one American bulldog.
Oh, man, you got some big ones there.
Yeah. Lots of food, lots of cleanup, you know.
Yeah, lots of that. Yeah,
where in Texas do you live? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, my son's got a mix with a American Bulldog, and it's the sweetest dog ever, just sweet as it could be.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. Where do you live in Texas?
We're outside Houston, in the Woodlands area.
In Woodlands, okay, I get it. Yeah. I want to buy a ranch up near Hempstead.
Oh yeah, that's a nice area.
Yeah. I'm learning about a little bit in regards to property rights and mineral rights and water rights and even what do you call it? Solar rights. It's just crazy what people sell on a property, and then ask you to come buy it.
You need to connect with the Constitution Room with Mason. That's what he's teaching right now.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
and he's got documents on it and everything to help you.
Oh, fantastic. I'll look that up.
Yeah, so the Constitution Room, and I think I just dropped the room list into the living room. So if you click that, and Mason's on there, and he can sure guide you of what's going on.
Oh, awesome. Very good.
Yeah, and I think he's going to do another call on that if he does, I'll make sure you get it.
Oh,
good information.
Yes, this is incredibly important. It's things you're not even aware of when you go and buy a property.
You want to be set up correctly when you get going. So he's got the first steps on of what to do and his own personal experience.
Excellent.
Yeah,
his name is Mason. All right.
Yeah, look for Mason and say, Salty sent me, and he'll pinch me.
Okay. Very good. Mm-hmm.
Well, are you going to do anything special for Christmas this year?
You know, I typically don't do anything for Christmas. My classification would be I'm a first century believer, Christian believer. So I follow the actual birth date and
exactly
our real calendar, etc. So, but I'm a believer. I speak in tongues. I manifest Holy Spirit power. I love people. Teach everybody everything I know. It's great to be a believer, especially with all of the rooms that you folks have. It's just fantastic.
Well, I love
How about
the
yourself?
description under your name that it's scripture, because we're definitely a Christian base and our mission is Christian based. But, all religions are here. We're not here to judge people, but I understand
Right.
about the birthday and the history and all that.
Yes. Yes. Excellent. Yes. Yes. I'm going to move to the Philippines for about a year because I'm going to adopt two children. I'm going to
Well,
marry their mother and bring them back to Kirkley above Houston here in Hempstead on the Quiet Ranch. So,
I was on just a while ago with somebody from the Philippines. I'll see if they can get in here and you can connect with them.
yes, that's beautiful stuff.
Yeah, so that'll be a
Beautiful
good
stuff.
thing. So connecting with people and making it a better world and just, who do you meet? And, I brought a lot of
Right.
people in where people connect with each other and hopefully they'll be forever friends.
Yes, that's good stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
building community is important.
yeah.
Very
I used
strong
to have
community.
every state and lots of different countries for people to connect, and it was like overkill of the word. But hopefully it worked. A lot of people made new friends, so that's what it's all about.
Well, I've been blessed because I've followed everything for, with your rooms, and I'm hooked up with Ed of Ocala and his stuff. That's how I met him pretty good. You guys have different rooms for different purposes, so it's been very, very good. I listen to Cook. I'm going to bring on some of these other speakers. It's a pleasure. You do all the hard work because we don't know where to go.
Uh, I've been blessed. I've met a lot of people, and I've brought a lot of them through here. And just some of them, if it doesn't stay in alignment after we grow and change, I just want to keep the simplicity and the honesty. If we can't prove it, if we can't prove something, it's very uncomfortable. So I want it to be where everybody can know that it's a fact. And sure enough, everybody's been tricked one way or the other. So, it's all good. But the one that I listen to that I follow is Isaac. Even though he might say it's not happening this week or something like that, he's been right.
Yes, yes.
But anyway, but his somebody had asked him one day about bonds, and it was back years ago when his room was open all the time, and they wanted to kind of challenge him a little bit on bonds. He disappeared, and I thought, well, wonder where Isaac went. And then he turns around and comes back in a few hours, and he has all these pictures of the bonds and what he's done. He didn't show us the currency, but all the things that he had and what he was doing, it's impressive. And where he's sitting with the top paymasters, in Europe and all this stuff, nobody else is at that level. And he put his money where his mouth is. So when I hear things, I always go back and check with Isaac or ask, different questions. And I know other people that is in high levels, and they're in alignment with Isaac. So I sure
Well,
wish they could prove us wrong and it'll happen today. It'd be a wonderful Christmas blessing.
do you remember
But
Ronald Reagan's era?
pardon, I didn't hear that.
Do you remember Ronald Reagan and his era back all those years ago? The
Yeah.
reason I bring that up is I worked under Secretary of the Interior James Watt on a specific program in the state of Nevada to go ahead and discover all the gold that was in our wilderness areas. And that was to be pledged for a future gold-backed currency. I started doing that work in, the early 80s, like 1982, etc. And all the geologists were based out of Reno, Nevada. And that's where they have huge gold depositories unknown to most of America. We did that work, and I also worked under something called the farm claims. I don't know if you've ever heard of those.
Good stuff. Well, Gipper's News, Dave was with President Reagan for both of his terms. For 8 years, he was with him.
Excellent.
Have you ever connected with Gipper's News, Dave?
No. Most of my stuff I had to do under NDAs, so I typically never spoke to things. I mostly catched. I did not pitch, if you will. And I was so involved with so much of this movement back in the 80s and 90s and everything at that time, and they were telling us, this is the same thing, this is going to happen now. We're coming out with new currency. They showed us pictures of the stuff, and, they just did not comprehend how huge the other side's arsenal was, if you will.
Yeah.
And that's why we've had delay after delay. And I think 10 years ago, this was all supposed to happen, say 2014, 2015. And it was the military that came forward and said, we need 10 years to clean up the planet. And that's why we've been waiting these past 10 years and to put everything together. So it's a huge undertaking. It's, so many people's lives.
It is a huge, and now that we went from, I was talking to Nathan the other day about the transition, how we went from the pioneers and shaking hands, biblical days, just trading coins or chickens for cows or milk, or how you did bartering. Then we went from there to the trading with the Indians, to handshakes, to going to banks, to writing a check, to using a credit card to a debit card. Now the new technology is going to be the crypto stuff and the cross-bordering with this electronic money. Well, what happens if the electronic stuff goes down? You're back to silver and gold.
Yeah,
so having
that's part of it.
a little bit of that in your portfolio, just keep it handy. I think that's always going to be valuable.
Yes, gold and silver are basically an insurance policy for things that may happen. And obviously the other things you mentioned too, having things of value that other people want is also part of that bartering system like you're speaking about. Setting up your life that way is wisdom, and passing it down to your prodigy is very important. So they comprehend all of this, because in today's world, everything's just electronic. If it's not online, it's not real to them. So it's a different world.
Yeah, exactly. So learning the new technology, even on, we brought up on a call yesterday with Nathan about even when the internet first started, and you'd pull up your internet and you'd hear that, while it was loading, and then you got mail, with AOL.
Yes.
We went from there to, we slowly transitioned to, going into the Web 2, the Web 3. Now we're going into the Web 4. And we see the AI stuff all over the place. Faster internet, faster. Everything is just going. Our world is changing faster than a blink of an eye. So, but the one thing that will always be the same is, like you were talking about, the precious metals.
Yes.
And having some gold or a little bit of this. And people that might think that you really can't afford a gold bar or something, you can go to pawn shops, which has come up before. I think Low Tide even did a call on a guy that has a pawn shop, and people go in there and get old silver or jewelry or something like that, and it's all valuable. You want to make sure it's not plated, but good stuff. So where do you think on the timeline we're at? Because we've got a timeline and a roadmap that we use of the facts that we can prove. So the history of it, with you being in this for so long, where do you think we're at?
I believe when number 47 actually steps forward and receives the public announcement of his presidency, that's when they'll cut loose many things, and not just here, it's obvious globally, and that's part of the secret gold treaty. So that's where I personally believe we're going to see everything come into fruition. And then, they may be rolling things out in a small way. I also think they can take things into escrow and release it to certain individuals at peace, like Isaac, people like that.
Because I think you're absolutely right that it'll be a slow rollout, and just watching it happen is history. But I think there's a lot of pieces that still need to go into it to make it happen. It's not like just pushing a button, that's for sure.
Yeah, you need security. Even us with all these digital assets, security almost has to be primary as opposed to receiving the assets. If you don't have your security, you barn doors open, if you will, and that's the danger everybody is facing. Everybody with what's going on. So, and which you folks also have a room for that. I've seen and people talking about it. So, as much as we can humanly prepare without being a major computer hub yourself as an individual, your service, all your rooms, the people that are coming forward is invaluable to the community at large, just phenomenally so.
Well, helping everybody is what we want to do with education and with your history. That's valuable. So you've got the facts. You were there, and you play a big role in it also.
Yes, and there are many, I think, that are still out there that have been involved, but we had a major, how can I say, setback in April of 1995, when a bunch of our military who were out there, major figureheads, generals, admirals, etc., all died in a plane crash. And that set us back 20 years, in my opinion.
So good. So, have you gotten into the crypto wallets and all that at all?
Yes, I have. I purchased, how can I say, some of the digital tokens, the cryptos, and I've been, just watching everything like everybody else, awaiting what's going to happen. And I think in the future, after what we call the RV, I call the abundance reset happens, people should get themselves highly educated in the security side of all of this, and then go ahead and purchase different assets as listed in some of the rooms that are ISO 222 certified. They have that language behind them. They're agreeing to the standards. I think that's a very important thing for everybody to get into. It's a little bit, how can I say, resistance in our community, of the age of our community, because it requires an awful lot of study and getting into, and most people just don't have the energy or the time, or someone to walk them through it all, because that's definitely what's needed.
Well, we're trying to do that of what is it, what does it mean, how to get involved, why to get involved, and what is safe to do to get involved. And we're not financial advisors, so we always tell people do your own research. But when you look into it, it's very entangled. There's a lot to it. But it's fun once you get into it and you can kind of see what's happening.
Yes, mostly, yes, very good. It is.
Well, guess who just joined us on the call? Hello, Isaac.
Wow.
Yeah, here he is. Anyway, Isaac is. I just adore Isaac. Please join the call. At the top. Anyway, if you haven't been here that long or know who Isaac is, he's just a superstar. And his page on the website, I'll drop in here. He is. He'll tell you flat out if you want to know something. He's not going to give you fluff or lies, and he'll say lies, lies, stories, and lies. It's the cutest thing ever, but he's been correct. Let's see.
Well.
All right, he's going to speak to us, I think.
Good,
so he's
good
got
day,
a great
Isaac.
accent too. I'll say he's multitasking with us.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going to pop in here in a second, I bet.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I know most of the type of bonds that Isaac is showing because when we did the claims, I had people bring in briefcases full of bonds from all over the world.
Yeah, and he has pointed out that so much of the bond chatter is fake bonds. But he has had his verified and the whole thing where his is a real deal.
I was involved with a certain gentleman with, we have assets, if you will, in the bond scenario, but they're of a different kind. They were all based upon assets handed out, how can I say, decades and decades and decades ago. And we had as many as 6 different supporting documents to prove their validity. And it's an amazing process. We even had, this may sound funny, but in some of the validation, we used chopsticks and lemon water. That's all I could say about it, but it's just so unique. The whole bond market, and you have so many brokers. Everybody in the world can be a bond broker. It's so funny, and everybody's a broker, and everybody's trying to get a piece of somebody's pie, if you will. It's amazing what's going on. And the forgeries, they're off the chart. There's 10 times more forgeries than the real thing.
With so many people that don't understand, we did a call on the bonds, and if you don't have bonds or know what they are, you go back to YouTube and listen. But just follow the breadcrumbs like you're sharing with us is what's important.
Yes. There's an incredible amount of, I think the greatest, probably one of the greatest, I hate using the word investments, but one of the greatest things you can possibly do is go get yourself some Zim bombs. I think it's for the bang for the buck. It's like off the charts what the possibilities are there. And there's so many of them that people can get. But if you get, I think it's 2008, 2009 series, it's a no-brainer.
And as soon as we get the facts of, what's going to happen and what's needed and what to expect, we can post it all over, put it on the website, and we'll send out an email. So right now is the time to be planting your seeds and learning and planning. What do you want to do in the future? What is your project? You don't know about a project, then go to the website. I've got a whole section on different project ideas that's already been laid out for them. So with you joining in here and sharing your information is very helpful.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm just delighted to be here. And I happen to have the day off, and I turned on Telegram, and I saw you guys were going to have a little call, or I thought, I'd like to join that today. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you, because you've been here for a long time. We've got a lot of really sweet people that's been here, and they deserve big hugs. All the all the encouragement I could possibly give, I'll do everything I can to help people. Yeah, I don't care who you are, where you came from, or whatever's going on. We're here to support you and help. So I feel
Well, I
like
think,
we're on a mission, and God led us here to help people, and I'm going to do my best to do my part.
well, you certainly have shed light on a lot of subject matter for everybody. So thank you very much, Salty.
What?
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, if I was going to a restaurant, for example, and I know that they have a buffet of information is what Seeds of Wisdom has. I've got a whole buffet. If you if I walk past the buffet and I don't like that piece of information, why would I bring it into my house in a takeout bag? I'm not doing it. So if it's not something we can prove and agree on and all that, it's nothing personal. It's just I pass on the olives or whatever. It doesn't matter. But we want to have a buffet full of facts and good information with lots of prayers and love over it where everybody can enjoy it. So our
Yes, yes.
community, a lot of people are older. They don't want to learn technical things. When I
Yeah.
started, I had to write the word link. And if you see link, link, link on everything, it's because people didn't know the blue word was a link. So
Yes,
little
yes,
bitty
yes.
tiny things, goes how you teach things like learning the debit card, learning how to, now you click the card, the little thing on the back. So we all learn together. So everybody sharing and you sharing pieces is valuable.
Back in the day, we didn't have the internet, obviously, like we do now. In the 90s, it started to evolve a little bit. When Windows 95 came out, it made it much more accessible, I thought. And then most of the things I dealt with were executive orders. And I can point people to the executive order because they're listed. And that that's most of my involvement had to be tangible proof about what was going on. That even how I got to be involved, I did a lot of research, and everything became an executive order that I was working under. That's how things could be verified, and you can still point people to those executive orders. That's what gave us validity, if you will, and it proved that we weren't just some patriots out there, trying to make profit off of people. We were there to help.
Well, I love it. So you know about vetting information and double, triple checking information and checking your sources because it can be confusing big time. So, but
This
once you
is
see the
very
facts and you
important.
got facts, if you have documents you could ever share with us, I'd be glad to put them out there for you if you want.
Yes, sometime maybe I'll put some things out there. I think definitely once this rolls forward. I was a very fortunate individual at the time because my wife at the time I married, her brother was a U.S. Navy SEAL. And when I
Oh,
was
wow.
initially exposed to all of this, I went ahead and had compiled an incredible amount of documentation. And he came and we talked together for several hours. And I showed him everything, item after item after item after item. And he was very quiet. And then he says to me, Bruce, everything you're saying is true. He says, along with U.S. Marshals, we've been going around the globe confiscating uncharted assets for this future thing that's to happen. So that, that's a verbal thing that doesn't prove anything, secondhand information to everybody. But I worked under the executive order that all alluded to, if you will. They don't spell out specifics, but they allude to things that are, part of the mix. All of this is going on. All of this is ready, and once it starts to happen, it'll unfold quickly, very quickly.
Because talking to different people that is in high levels, they don't just spill the beans every day. You know, you
That's
just
right.
get little pieces here and there. But when you know the person, like you know where the information came from, you'd already vetted that person.
Correct.
So that's
Very
good.
correct.
And a
Yeah.
Navy SEAL that knows how to get the information, that's excellent.
Yes, he was. I was very surprised that he, because what they were sharing with me, I had never seen anything like this before, and they were asking me to go ahead and join. And my mother-in-law at the time worked for one of the largest law firms that were in the city we lived, and so I gave her court case after court case. I wanted to make sure they just were not handing me a sheet of paper with information. And like most people, just, oh, okay, you say it, it's true. It must be true. I had to make sure it was all verified. I was putting my life on the line, my family's life on the line. I was like, oh, and it turned me gray. I turned gray probably within about a month. It was ridiculous.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did you get involved?
Actually, I'm going to say something that may sound strange to the audience. Like I said, you could probably classify me as a first century Christian believer, that level of believer. I prayed to the Father. I asked him to bring me into something financially that was way outside of anything I've ever heard and extraordinary. And he delivered. So I ended up being brought to Phoenix, Arizona. And I started meeting these patriot type people, and they invited me to a specific meeting. And they made these incredible claims and things I had no understanding about in regards to things like the Federal Reserve, the way the laws were, how we were in admiralty courtrooms, everything just, that they threw at me. And then they asked me if I would, join their cause, and it was to give everybody a claim based upon an executive order. So that was my foray into all of this at that level. Even though 10 years prior to all of that, I had worked under an executive order under Reagan, under Secretary of the Interior James Watt, to find the gold reserves in wilderness areas in the United States to back a gold-backed currency. So when I did that, I did it as a labor, if you will, in those areas. I physically went and we drilled cores down into the earth to bring back, what the actual reserves would be in these areas where no one, we can't walk as Americans. You can't go into wilderness areas unless you have authorization. So I did that for several years. Here I am 10 years later. They're showing me all of this. And I was quite, taken aback, because it seemed like to be on a different planet, what they were speaking compared to where we live. And so I went through that foray. I was fortunate. She was working for, my mother-in-law worked for a law firm. I gave her the documents, and we did all of that work. And the stuff I did in the 80s was all done under what we call America First. You've heard that name, I'm sure.
Yes, I have.
Several times. Well, America First, Trump used it in his inauguration speech, I think 2 times that I counted. And when he did that, I jumped off my chair. I couldn't believe it, because no one had used those words in more than a decade in my life. No one knew what that meant. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. And when he started saying that, I knew what he was talking about. And that was America First is made up of patriots and military, both former and present military. And they're just people who love, for the most part, that I have ever met, mostly, they all love the Creator, they love the Word, and they loved America. And they wanted to make us that dream, that beacon of speaking the word of truth globally, which is what we should be doing as a nation, and we did do as a nation we have the greatest Christian ministers, if you will, on TV all over the time, all the time. We spread the gospel. We send people out throughout the world. And I believe that's the whole purpose of all of this. And it's just like the Exodus in the Bible at this time, where the wealth was given unto the people. The difference is, I don't want our people to go out into the wilderness after being set free and being and complain like Israel did going into a desert. But I don't think it'll be that way. I think this time we'll turn around. There's so many real believers, like community. There's so many real believers. That's what they want to do. They're like, look, we want to love people, help humanity, spread the gospel. That's my position, if you will, on it, not necessarily anybody else's. So it's been a long haul. It's been a very long haul.
Yeah. So it has been a long haul, but when you know and you have that spiritual backing and you know what you know, that's absolutely wonderful.
Well, it is. I've been able to, I withstand, and endure and move on like all the believers do. And, it's tough to bring the younger generation into this. But a lot of young people are looking and saying something's horribly wrong. And we need very good speakers and leaders that speak the truth. And then I'm looking forward to the expose on all of the wrongdoing that has occurred. And that way, we can teach some people not to repeat that history or to allow it to happen again.
I love that. With Seeds of Wisdom, how it was even born was very spiritual. And the last few days, myself and others has got all kinds of little messages that we're doing the right thing, because God's definitely in the field and he's never out of the picture. So if you're lost of what to do, it's time to say your prayers, get on your knees and say your prayers. So good stuff. But we need more leaders to help us. Yeah. Anybody else want to join in with your story or say Merry Christmas?
Anybody else out there? Yes, I think
everybody
there's a lot
else
of people.
Well, it's kind of a crazy time. And it's funny that the team's not on here. They got busy doing different things and news and stuff like that. But I see that Turd Ferguson joined us, and Turd's the one that inspired the Christmas call for Okie. And I'm recording this, and I'll send it over to him once we get it done. But Turd, why don't you say Merry Christmas to us? You do so much here in the prayer room, and everybody respects you. You're just wonderful. I don't know about your name, but
it's funny because I wasn't sure you were doing a call like this, so I pre-recorded something and loaded it into the living room.
I'll get both of them.
No, you're fine. I'm impressed with what you do. So, anyway, Okie has been so important to all of us. I mean, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. So, I can't wait to do a pie-a-palooza with you and go get some pie and leave all those leftovers with him. But
they'll be fun. Well, I called Okie yesterday and told him that you inspired us to do the call, and I asked him if he wanted to join us or to leave a message, and he may still do it. But I told him it was the 11th, and we would start at 11:11 in different time zones where everybody could chime in. And right. He said 11:11 was important to him for several reasons too. So hopefully he leaves that message where everybody can hear it. But he didn't know if he was going to have enough air to leave a recording. So keep him in your prayers. Also, with Okie, why is he important? We hear the name Okie, the oil man, but how did he play into this, and what part of it can we learn from him? I've got it on the website, and we've got a YouTube recording also on the 13303, that executive order. And I'll drop that in here too, where everybody can follow that. But what do you like about Okie, Turd? What has inspired you about Okie?
You know, I'm not that much younger than him, but he reminds me of my dad. He's just a sweet, gentle man. And just to have the perseverance. I think he's been doing this for what, a third of a century? 2
It felt
decades,
like that a
something
long
like that.
time.
Yeah, he's been doing this for a long time. I feel like I lucked out. I've only been doing this for 4 or 5 years. So I'm a rookie, but man, I don't know. He's just such a special guy. And you know, when you wanted to set up a daily prayer for him, you wanted to make sure it was just for him. And I kept sneaking little things in there for other people. And then that's why we split it off. Now we have the regular prayer room, and then we have the dedicated to Okie only prayer room. So I
Yeah,
just,
because
I just, what's that?
he always asks for prayers. That's the only thing he ever asked for, and so we want to keep the his request. But we have helped him, like with pie and different things, and it's
Yeah.
been wonderful that I got to meet him face to face and hug him and to be close to him. But he's a very special guy, and he's going through a lot of stuff. So your prayers are definitely needed.
Well, I feel I've witnessed miracles, and it's all due to praying. And I'm not like Batman. I am not. I can't tell you Bible verses off the top of my head. I've got to use my cheat sheets. So, but I feel like prayers, compounding them over and over every day, uh, make a difference. And I burned out on church. I used to go to Catholic school, so they'd make you go to church every day before school, and then on Saturday or Sunday. And I kind of got away from going into church, but I'd still attend church, helping out with the continental breakfast and things like that with my daughter. But now I find myself praying every day for a couple of hours every day, and it's just become the focus of my life. My existence is just to pray for others. And Okie deserves it. Okie really deserves to know how appreciated he feels for all of us.
Well, he had told me that when he was a child, that back in the 40s, he listened to a radio station in Oklahoma City, and they would say, God is on the throne and prayer answers things. And he never forgot that. And to this day, he still says that. Well, one morning, I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I heard a little whisper. I turned on the computer. I pulled up, God is on the throne, prayer answers things. And on the website out of Oklahoma City was what Okie had talked about, but now they have a website and numerous pages. When I clicked on that at 3 o'clock in the morning, it came up with the wrong date, first of all. And then underneath the post, God is on the throne, prayer answers things, it had on there twice, remember the Morton Salty girl? Remember the Morton Salt girl? And I'm like, this is for me. It was amazing what had happened. Why would the Morton Salt girl be on a church website twice? I knew it was for me. And so the message, I told Okie, well, he got visions about me being out in the field planting seeds and doing different things. So we made the little movie where Okie narrated it. I'll drop that in there too. What's on his website, the Okie the Wallman page of RJack, Miss Chris, myself put the movie together, and Okie, it's his voice. But how he woke up with a vision and how this all happened, it's very, very spiritual. So we're all here to serve and to help each other up. So, Turd, you are wonderful. In that prayer room, I don't know how you and Mountain Mama and some of them every day just do a beautiful job over there.
it's I don't know. It just feels like it's the right thing to do. This is what I was designed to do, to help people and by praying for them. So there's a lot of times that sometimes things don't go so good, and that affects you personally. I mean, I cry. Before joining the prayer room and things like that, I'd maybe cry once every 10, 15 years. Somebody passed away. I cry daily. Just that post that you did with that deaf woman. You know, so
It's
I'm
just
a lot more.
beautiful.
Yeah, I'm a lot more emotional than I used to be. And sometimes when I cry, I feel through my skin. I feel like this I don't know, like chills or something. I don't know what it is, but I'm more in tune than I've ever been, and I'm not afraid of saying I cry. Big deal. Uh, I just feel like things are evolving the way they're supposed to, and I'm just following the path. And I thank you for everything you've done. I mean,
Well, it's
I can't.
it's teamwork. But
I
looking at Smitty Pearl's post, also in Shannon's post, there's so many over there that you have touched with the prayers and answered prayers, the prayer reports. They're absolutely incredible. It's amazing, and just a little tiny prayer how we've lifted. But with the prayers, we also we started the Dollar Day donations for $1, Dollar Day Friday, and
yeah,
somehow, some way, there is no way we had those kind of funds to help so many people. You can't outgive God. Every time an extra donation comes in or something like that, where we
yeah,
can the CPA overlooks all money. But anyway, we were able to help so many people. I had Rhonda that makes our avatars. I asked her to look at the website on the testimonial page. I said, I bet I've got 100. And she called me and said, you don't have 100, you have hundreds. Can you
nice.
imagine that many seeds being planted with kindness of people just sharing $1? And some of the people that shared $1 went out and got jobs and things like that and turned around and was able to donate back to help others. It's been absolutely amazing to watch. So I'm glad I get to be a part of it. But it's not about me. It's about everybody in this community. We want to help and bless.
Yeah.
Well, what do you see happening this holiday season? Do you have anything planned?
Um, my daughter might be coming in to see her mom, so I may go down south and meet up with her if she comes. Otherwise, no plans, no tree, no stockings, no nothing. I did a little modest, you know, Christmas shopping for a few people, and that's it. Nothing.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
Well, is there anybody else that would like to put out some holiday cheer today? Everybody's being quiet.
Come on
I
in. The
was
water's
hoping
fine.
I was hoping that Isaac was going to say something. He's got a beautiful voice, but I think that he's busy doing something because he pops in, said hi, and then off he went. And Bob Locke was the same way. He posted a Merry Christmas for us. Anybody else want to say something? I see Arjack popped in and popped out. She's got her head busy, doing stuff. Miss Yogi had a customer, so she couldn't be here. But it sure is quiet, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I see
And
Why Not is here. I love Why Not. Why Not's the best. That's always a fun one to have. We've got really sweet people. Anybody want to say Merry Christmas? And this will go to Okie. So if you want to give him a Merry Christmas, please do so, and we'll make sure he gets it. Well, I'm glad I got to hear Batman Q's voice. He's been here a long time, but we never really talk. We're just kind of, reading each other. Chat rooms are funny that way. You can write something and it means something completely different. So it's nice to have them here. I wish Arjack would talk. She wrote us out a nice message.
Well, I
When
am
she
here.
said stop.
I'm here. Hello.
Well,
I want to
hello,
wish
Arjack.
everybody.
Good morning.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and I've been praying for Okie for years now, and I'm pray that he has a Merry Christmas too. And down in the post, I put some of my memories of growing up, the Christmases that we had. I mean, we always had a great Christmas. It seemed like we did everything as a family, and it was just always fun. Everything that we did, it was never really work. It was just fun, fun, fun. So. Anyway, I wrote some of my memories down there of my Christmases, and I do pray that each one of you has just a blessed Christmas this year. And we've got so much to look forward to with the new administration coming in. I think that things are going to really change in a positive way. So y'all each have a Merry Christmas.
Arjack, if I could squeeze you for a minute, you do the update on the roadmap and the timeline on the website. Those are live docs, but there's also the link where you can read it easier. On your timeline, if you'll share with us on the timeline and the roadmap, what are those exactly? What do you want to get across with those?
Well,
what is the timeline?
Okay, with those, the timeline has things that have happened, or actually other things that still have to happen, to show where we are with the financial system and what still has to be done with the financial system. So if you look on that timeline and just go down, all the way down, you'll see all the things that have happened already, and there are tons of them. I mean, we have not been standing still, but there are still some things that have to happen. And I don't have a time. I can't give you a time when this will happen, but I'm praying that it will happen sometime in 2025. Definitely. I don't think that it'll happen, before that time. I think sometime in that year, though, next year, it will happen. So we all have something to look forward to, and to place our hope on. And also the roadmap, you asked me about that. That has a bunch of links in it as well, of things that have happened, and things that will happen. Just articles is basically what that one is. It's articles, and it gives you links to the articles to show where we are right now, what has happened and what still has to happen. So both of those documents go together, basically.
You also work a lot with the news hounds. With the news hounds, what do you that follows a lot of the crypto that's going on. With the crypto, what do you see going on with crypto? Do you see that being the future, or what do you see with that?
Well, the crypto, basically the crypto is the roadmap to our new financial system. I mean, it is going to be the network that all money transfers from place to place, from country to country, from peer to peer, from retail and wholesale. It is going to be our new financial system. So that's what crypto is all about, and I follow that daily in the news hounds, and you can look at all the articles that I have pulled up every day to see where we are. And it just follows it. Every day there's something different that's going on. Some nation has started doing stable coins, or another country might be just now starting to do their regulations. I mean, you look at the United States, we do not even have regulations yet. And so we're kind of behind the other countries, to be honest with you. But I think with Trump coming in and the new Congress coming in, that is all positive on crypto. I think that we will have regulations sometime early in 2025, so that we will be part of the new financial system.
Well, with that why is it important for the world to have crypto? Is it cross-border trading? What exactly is that cross-border?
Yeah, it is. The crypto will be used. There will be stable coins. They will be able to pay in their own currency, using stable coins that's backed by gold, and so each country will have a way to pay another country digitally. Is what it is. It will be cross-border. That means from country to country, and it will also be peer-to-peer. Like you go to the store and you can use your crypto or your stable coins to pay for your merchandise, whatever you're buying, groceries or clothes, whatever you're buying. It will all be digital at one point. I mean, it's not going to be that way at the beginning because everybody will not know how to use it at the beginning, but eventually everyone will go to their own digital wallets and use their own digital currency that they have in their wallets. So it's going to be different, and everybody's going to have to eventually learn it, if you don't know it yet. So
with that being the new change, when this happens, it'll be a process. Since it's all digital, do you see once it goes down, having other assets like your silver and gold to be able to barter or to still pay for things if needed?
Well, yes, and I also think that we will probably have a paper dollar that is backed by gold as well to start off with, because everybody's not going to know how to do this. But yeah, I do think silver and gold, they're very important, and they always will have value. Just like the new digital system, there are the components to the system that make up the system, like the XRP and the XLM and all of the ISO 222 coins. They will all make up the network that the system will function on. So those will always have value as well. I don't know. Yeah, gold and silver is definitely going to have a place in this, and all of I'm almost positive that we will have gold and silver backed coins in our digital wallets.
Now, when you go into the terms, the ISO and all that, we have a glossary, and the glossary helps break all that stuff down, so you're not lost. When people don't know what is the rates, what does this, what are we doing? You can go on the website again or the fast track room, and it has all that broken down for you. You can check every day what your currency's worth and look at it yourself. The Start Here room, you can just start here. Maybe that's a New Year's resolution that every day or once a week you learn one new thing. It's all there for you to learn if you want. So you see this as being a new year and going forward on a gold foot then?
I sure do. And I even wrote in my little post down there that this year especially, I have a lot of hope for this happening, as well as hope for peace on earth and goodwill to all of humanity, that we will all have peace and we will be free nations, and that will be such a gift to all of us, definitely.
Another thing that you are heavily involved with is the Constitution Room. I was just telling Bat over there how important it was to get into the Constitution Room. Why is that? Why would Batman Q like that Constitution Room?
Well, we have Mason over there and we have Jim over there. Both are so knowledgeable on our Constitution and what has happened to our Constitution in the past, all the way back to Jim goes all the way back to the 1700s, and when our Constitution was compromised was during the Lincoln administration, and they give you the history of everything that has happened. So listening to the calls, you will learn a lot about the history that you may or may not know. Since I know I didn't know it before they kind of told me. So, but yeah, there's a lot of history about what happened to our Constitution and that we need to get it back. And becoming sovereign is part of that process. The more of us who are sovereign, the more of us can be together as a unity to get our Constitution back. And that's what Mason and Jim are pretty much trying to convey, all of the information that we don't know.
Well, the good thing on that room, it gets pretty lively and fun, and it gets in depth. Good thing is we ask people to get a buddy, find somebody else that's interested, and grab a buddy and learn together as the buddy system. And that way, you can get caught up with the past calls on YouTube, and the documents from Jim and Mason are on the website. I mean, on the link where you could get it and on the website. So we've laid it all out for everybody. But that room has a lot of information.
It sure does.
And the live call every Friday night, they're in there, helping people. So that's encouraging.
Right. And if you have any questions during the calls, we encourage you to come over and listen to the calls, because they will answer your questions right there for you. Anything that you don't really understand or you still have questions about, just ask them and they would be glad to answer.
Well, it's fun. That's a awesome little room too. Was there anybody else that wants to say Merry Christmas or say something to R. Jack or Turd Ferguson? That name, Turd, or anybody here? Just shout out to us. Pretty quiet. Everybody's been busy. You've been doing news, I think, all morning, haven't you, R. Jack?
I have. I haven't got it posted in the news hounds yet, but yeah, I've got articles that need to go in there.
Yeah, because that little team stays silent, but they're busy too. So that's a really important group.
I agree.
I'm going to hang out for a few more minutes, and then the prayer time starts just after.
All right. Well, tell you what, I think we have wrapped up our Christmas party. I think that it was a nice get together, and I appreciate everybody being here. And hopefully, we'll all connect back on Friday night on the Constitution call. So I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and thank you for being here with us. And sign up for the newsletters or whatever, and we'll get the word out to you. So anything that we learn, we'll share. So thank you, everybody, being here, and Merry Christmas to all.
Merry Christmas.
And
Merry Christmas.
God bless. Bye-bye.